is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today, our summer school series continues with Mystery 101, Playing Dead. We hope you'll follow us on Instagram after you finish listening to this. We are Girls Gone Hallmark.
Hey, jump into our Girls Gone Hallmark Facebook group. If you're not there already, you will find a group of people who really know their Hallmark shiz.
You sound like a Secret Lives of Mormon Wives character.
Do I?
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't cuss? Do
Well,
they?
I don't know if it's them that don't cuss or just the Mormon influencers I don't follow, but
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. For example, like just last week, somebody pops into the group and they're like, look, I'm looking for this Hallmark movie where so-and-so and so-and-so and somebody's blind. What's the name of it? And instantly somebody knew the answer.
I know. It was like the first comment. I was shocked.
I was completely in shock, but I've been saying it for months and months and months. Like, these people know their stuff there, so.
Best group on the internet.
I agree.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us an email, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. After this episode, let us know what you're thinking about our reviews of Mystery 101, or we finally have a new series of movies from Hallmark all month long. So give us your thoughts on those movies as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a mailbag sometime during the month of June, right?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe? Okay.
For sure. Maybe two.
Oh, exciting.
Hey, let's hear a synopsis of Mystery 101, Playing Dead.
Crime fiction professor Amy and Detective Travis attend a play where a prop gun fires a real bullet, narrowly missing the star Bella. Declaring the theater a crime scene, Travis has suspects galore, and luckily, he has Amy by his side, who uses her expertise in whodunits.
Our director and writer both returned from the pilot movie. John Christian Plummer directed this and all 7 Mystery 101 movies. This is the second and final Mystery 101 movie written by Blair Hayes.
Returning to our cast, we have Kristoffer Polaha, Jill Wagner, Robin Thomas as Graham, Sarah Dugdale as Claire, Preston Vanderslice as Bud, and Larissa Tronco as Lacey.
Luke Camilleri plays Elliot. Luke will go on to appear in Garage Sale Mysteries as well as Curious Caterer on Hallmark. Outside of the network, he has appeared in Family Law and Hudson and Rex for a total of 48 acting projects.
Rika Sharma plays Bella Brightman. Rika has a strong sci-fi presence among her 80 acting projects, including Battlestar Galactica, The 100, and Roswell, New Mexico.
Christy Burke plays Josie Hart. Speaking of sci-fi, her most recent project is a starring role in The Ark, available to stream on Peacock.
Matthew Kevin Anderson plays Duncan. With 111 acting credits, Anderson was last seen on Hallmark's Love and Jane from 2024. He also appeared in Lights, Camera, Christmas, Game, Set, Love, and fan favorite Flip That Romance.
Colin Lawrence plays Sebastian Decane. Colin can currently be found playing the role of Preacher on Virgin River, but you might also recognize him from his role on the Christmas and Evergreen collection of movies. And finally, the Mystery 101 movie Playing Dead originally aired on June 23rd, 2019.
I have a question for you before we break. Is it wild that they put 3 of these movies out in 1 year?
Yes, I find that fascinating.
I'm like, they've completely abandoned that kind of schedule.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Given that we've had 3 total mystery movies all year long.
Don't get me started.
Let's take a quick break and come right back with first impressions. Hey, Wendy, what is your first impression of Mystery 101 Playing Dead?
Well, I'd like you to raise your hand if you also yelled nope when they had that monkey toy scene at the beginning.
Oh my gosh.
Was that terrifying or was it just me?
Truly the creepiest thing I have ever seen. I have so many thoughts on it, but my first impression is you've heard of a love triangle. I think this movie presents a love pentagon.
Oh.
I didn't actually count it out to figure out how many points are involved. There's just so many interlocking relationships, and this person likes this person, but is betraying this person. There's so much going on.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's talk about what we liked.
Well, may I speak to your first impression?
Sure.
I said in our last Mystery 101 review that I find them to do a good job bringing the creepy. I was not prepared for that monkey. And I don't know if you saw it, but during that scene, when Claire is down, I've got thoughts about this in my wishes, but down on the ground investigating that monkey.
And the baseball bat pulled back.
Slides back. I was like, oh, did I see that? And then she gets whacked. I mean, A+. I wanted to stand up and cheer.
It was very creepy. Very well done in the very best way. I agree. That whole scene with her, I was like, look at badass Claire going in there with a baseball bat. I was like, yeah, girl. But then also that monkey scared the crap out of me. I don't know. It
was
just
creepy.
Triggered some weird like horror movie, something that I may have seen as a child that really freaks me out.
When I used to babysit when I was in my teens, and I can remember hearing over the baby monitor a sound in one of the kids' rooms, and I went in their room, and there was a toy on the floor of their room that was like a dog with wheels on it, and it was like flipped over on its back, so the wheels were just spinning, like it had turned itself on. I've never forgotten about that. It was terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So scary. So scary. I gotta say, along with that scary monkey, I did think that the light crashing down on set when they're in the play, that gave me a good jump scare as well. I'm not looking to be like scared watching these movies or like frightened, but I thought like I didn't see it coming. So it scared me like it would have scared everybody else who was actually there. You know, I think it was very well done. I think those kind of scary scenes were very well done in this movie.
Something that carries over from movie one is the Travis and Amy banter is chef's kiss to me, especially when Amy, she's a girl after my own heart. She starts telling like a deeply involved story, and Travis is like, you got to push through the backstory. I
loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it. One of my favorite lines in the whole movie. Yeah. Loved it. Loved it. I know we've talked about like at length in movie one about the chemistry between Travis and Amy, but I would like to also point out that I think that Amy and her dad Graham have fantastic, and not like romantic chemistry, but just fantastic chemistry as actors. Like I think Robin Thomas really grounds the scene that they're both in. Like he's such a solid actor. And it was during this movie that I was like, damn it, I think I really like Jill Wagner as well. I think that her portrayal, and I talked about this too, but her portrayal of Amy is like, it's rooted in like a very realistic tone. Like she doesn't do anything that's like too reckless. I mean, she does do reckless things, but like it's not, she doesn't come off as like a buffoon, you know? My favorite part of it is that she just absolutely refuses to listen to Travis but her persistence always pays off. Like he always rolls over to her.
Yeah, that carrying forward into some future movies, I'm like, girl, at some point you do need to listen to the actual police officer in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does work for her. Their fire has not gone out at all for me. In the last movie, we talked about the sheer volume of characters and suspects, and that aspect carries over to this movie as well. There are so many potential suspects in this movie. I'm very curious from the listeners how they feel about this level of storytelling when, for me, I find it hard to keep track of all of the stories and the way these characters are interrelated. However, I know we're still talking about likes. The storytelling is impressive. I think they absolutely must have a murder board behind the scenes when they're building these movies to tie them all together. And we've seen mysteries with a lot of characters. And what I will say about these Mystery 101 movies, the first two that we've talked about, is they do figure out how to make all these characters work together.
Yeah, they're not just there. They all have some little role.
They all have some little role. I really loved Colin Lawrence's Sebastian Duquesne role. He's probably my favorite external character, like non-main character, supporting character. Goodness, I got there in this movie. He just gets, I think it's a very different role than we've seen him play. His roles on Christmas and Evergreen is kind of like a quieter dad, falls in love with Holly Robinson Pete's character. His role on Virgin River is also kind of, I mean, he's a little more serious. Here, he just gets to be fun and loud and obnoxious, and I really enjoyed it. And he's like, yeah, I did make that light drop, and I did shoot that bullet. What? Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny in that particular scene where he's like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Very funny. Speaking of all these characters, I did enjoy the twist of Duncan and Josie being siblings and that their parents were killed by Elliot's family business. Like talk about like plotting it out, right? But that was such a good twist. Yeah, I mean, it took a lot to get there, but I like what they did. I like what they did.
I like what they did too.
Finally, I'm just going through here. Oh, two more quick little things. I love, and I know you referenced it earlier when Travis was like, Amy, you got to get to the point, because she's always referencing literature. And I actually really enjoy it because I think it gives her some credibility as like, she's someone who understands the complexities of crime, but she's got to explain it to us, the viewers at home too, right? But as well as whoever she's with in her scene or whatever. I like that. I like it a lot.
This movie has a lot of exposition like that, where she has to explain to the audience by explaining it to people she's on screen with. She's like, oh, I'm the dramaturg for this play. And then she's like, a dramaturg is. I just was like, okay. You got to dumb it down for the audience a little bit. But this is the most I've seen it happen in these movies, where there's a lot of external explanation.
Yeah. My final like was, and it's simple, it's the stunning landscape shots in this. I had to like look. They are supposed to be in like Washington State, I believe. Obviously, it's filmed in Canada, throughout Canada, but there's like these gorgeous like mountainscapes behind them, and they're like these wide shot angles. It's stunning.
I know that university. I was like, maybe we should go to college there. Like every time I see these movies with these set in Vancouver movies with these gorgeous greenery wide shots, I'm like, do we need to move to Vancouver?
For real. So pretty.
Are you ready to talk wishes? Okay. I just want to follow up with something I said in the last movie. In the pilot movie, I said that with retrospect, it was clear that they had been laying clues all along, so that someone who was watching carefully could have perhaps guessed who the murderer was. This movie, in my opinion, takes an entirely different take in that there is information that we don't have until the end. There's that surprise twist about the siblings and about what might be their motive for committing murder. So it wouldn't have been possible for us to do anything other than guess. And so all I'm saying is, for me as a viewer, this is just me working out what I do and don't like about mysteries. I personally like when the clues are there for me to find. However, I have another question for the viewers, and I'm curious, do you like the surprise twist, or do you want to be able to solve the equation on your own?
I like a mix of both, to be honest. Yeah, I like, give me enough to feel like I'm figuring it out. But then if you like, surprise me, then I like that.
Yeah, I think if they're able to surprise you, Sometimes the surprises are like, come on. But this one I was like, oh, hey, I like where that came from.
Do you have any other wishes?
I want to say about Claire.
Yeah.
Much like I said in the last movie, we had someone who's a bad criminal. Claire's a terrible cop in the moment in which she walks into that potential crime scene alone. At no point does she check behind her. She's in the dark. There's a creepy monkey. And rather than looking around to see who might there, she gets on the floor and leaves herself completely vulnerable to attack. The monkey alone should have been clue to like, get out, reverse, call for backup.
I was kind of shocked. I was like, what is she doing running at 5:30 in the morning? I mean, I know people exercise early, but I was like, that's too early for me.
The sun is not out.
Wow. Speaking of Claire and speaking to something you mentioned earlier in the likes, Amy's reaction to Claire being attacked seemed
Underwhelming.
off. No, she was like, Claire, your partner? Bud's girlfriend? I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. You have to explain to everybody who didn't see movie 1 who Claire is.
Yeah.
But in movie 1, I believe they established that Claire was actually a former student of Amy's at some point. Like, she knew who Claire was.
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong, but she knew who Claire was.
She's also the daughter of the police chief.
Yes. She's just not like some rando person. But I get why they had to do it. It just was funny. Here's my other wish. And I'm curious what you think about it, if you even bumped on this at all. But I had some concern when I saw that prop gun. And of course, this movie was made before the 2021 incident involving Alec Baldwin, where a cinematographer was killed on set by a supposedly cold gun.
Yes, the movie Rust.
This made me all very, very, very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes, same. I did think about that as well.
And I had wondered, because like there are such strict rules in place and protocols in place. Obviously, I don't know what happened on that movie Rust, where somebody was killed, but how does that work in like a community playhouse?
Yeah, I have to assume they are absolutely not using guns with blanks in them in a community playhouse. I would be so uncomfortable with that as an audience member.
Yeah. Interesting. But it didn't sit with me well.
No, I agree.
It's not a knock on the movie. And like, how are you supposed to know that? And this was several years ahead.
Of course.
But anyway. But that's all for my wishes.
Let's talk. Did you see that?
I have a few.
Yeah, let's hear them.
The Garrison Hospital sign is clearly a digital overlay.
Oh, yeah.
I just hate when signage looks fake. It's
me too.
just a pet peeve of mine. It just bothers me so much. It must be because back in my teen years when I watched Beverly Hills 90210 and they would put like the fake hotel name where Dylan lived as a teenager.
Oh, yes.
It's not even coming to me right now because I'm so old, but do you remember where he lived?
Isn't it the Bellage? No?
No, it's not. That's Las Vegas.
No, that's the Bellagio.
Right. I can't remember. The Bellage. Maybe it was the Bellage. Yeah, I think you might be right, actually. Anyway, it was a terrible, shitty sign then, and it still is a terrible, shitty sign in 2017. Two more little things. In this movie, there was a real like throwback to Amy and Travis questioning suspects. If you remember, in the first movie, they were going through all the teachers or staff at the college who had the letter M. Yeah. And it was like they were doing like those back-to-back, like quick questioning kind of scene. Well, they did it in this one too, where it was all the people who were like in the playhouse that they were questioning. It just was almost shot for shot.
A nice throwback.
Yeah. And finally, my last did you see that was Travis and Amy chasing Carl through a Christmas tree farm?
Oh my goodness. I thought the same thing. That's funny. I'm like, this movie is going to be used in a Countdown to Christmas movie in 2019.
Oh my gosh. Funny.
I have a few did you see that's one. This is only semi-relevant, but as I was watching this, my daughter walked in and she was like, if you're watching Hallmark, how come it doesn't have a giant logo on the screen? And I was like, oh, because this is Hallmark Plus, not Hallmark Channel. But I thought it was so interesting that she noticed because She's right. When you watch on Hallmark Channel, there's a giant logo and often a giant promo running across the bottom third of the screen, which I find very distracting.
Yes, I
which,
do.
in my opinion, is another point in the favor of the Hallmark Plus streamer. A funny comment. Amy says, Carl would have been halfway to Canada by now. And my brain went, obviously, because they are recording in Canada. And in my mind, they are in Canada, even though this movie is set in Washington State.
Yeah.
And finally, my favorite line from an online review of this movie is, quote, I like the idea of English majors using their knowledge of Emma to take down criminals because what the hell else are we going to do with this information? From the blog Fits of Fury. It made me laugh out loud.
That's funny.
What did you rate Playing Dead?
I gave it 3.75 stars.
I gave it the exact same rating, same as last time. It's on par for me.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Spoiler alert, things are heading up in the future for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark, a Bramble Jam podcast. We hope you're enjoying our summer school series. If you love this podcast, hop into the podcast app you're listening in and leave us a 5-star rating and a little written review, and you may just hear it read on a future episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. We'll be back with more Hallmark reviews next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.